Manchester proudly brings you Campbell Live.
On the 20th of January, dozens of heavily armed police officers raided this house 40 minutes outside Auckland. Automatic weapons, helicopters, even members of New Zealand's elite special tactics group to arrest a man not accused of terrorism or murder, but internet piracy. Dotcom spent the next month in jail. The FBI allege that through his company, Megaupload, he is guilty of copyright violations worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Tonight, for the first time on television anywhere in the world, Dotcom himself responds. And we begin with the events of the past 5 weeks.
Well, you know, it's a little bit like a nightmare, I would say. Unexpected, horrifying for my family. My wife, who's pregnant with twins, has nightmares and is feeling miserable. And, you know, of course, I'm facing a very interesting situation.
Kim, you say it was unexpected. Was it totally and absolutely unexpected? Did you never, ever think that this could happen somewhere in the world at some time?
Well, the business is 7 years old. We have been sued only once, never by any, you know, movie company or big content company. And we have spent millions of dollars on legal advice over the last few years. And our legal advisors have always told us that we are secure and that we are protected by the DMCA, which is a law in the US that is protecting online service providers of liability for the actions of their users. So it came completely unexpected.
What did your lawyers tell you about what you were doing? As we understand Megaupload, in its simplest terms, it's a giant kind of exchange system in the sky, right? So you upload something, someone else downloads something, you are sharing files, those files could be anything, right? How do you protect yourself against breaches of copyright by the people using Megaupload?
Well, supposedly, and that's what everyone believed, is that the law is protecting us. We can't be liable for actions of third parties. You know, as long as we follow a regime of taking things down that are reported to us, which we have done over all these years, we are protected according to the law. And, you know, I find it very surprising that this is happening because, like I said, you know, we had legal advice all these years telling us that, you know, we are an online service provider and we are not liable for the actions of third parties.
Where did Megaupload come from? What was the idea behind it? It was your idea, right? Why?
Yeah. Well, you know, one day I was sending a file to a friend via email, and I got a message back saying, you know, the file is too large, and the mail server has refused to send it. So I thought, you know, what can I come up with? What can I do to solve that? So I basically created a server where I could upload a file and got a unique link, and then I would just email that link to my friend, and he would then get the file. And that's how Megaupload started. It was just a solution to a problem that still exists today.
How quickly did it take off? Were you surprised by it?
Well, I was surprised how quickly it took off. It grew virally because every time someone was sending a file to Megaupload to submit it to somebody else, that person would then also learn about Megaupload and that feature, and it would just grow, and everyone would use it because it was such a useful tool and free.
Kevin Su, the Senior Vice President of Content Protection at the Motion Picture Association of America, said, and I quote, "You are the biggest copyright infringer in the world." Are you?
Absolutely not. I'm no copyright infringer. I mean, you have to look at Megaupload in its sheer size. We are talking about a network that was running on 1.5 terabit of bandwidth.
Explain that to me. How big is that?
That is about 800 file transfers completing every second. We are a relatively small company. You can't expect us to police that kind of traffic.
So 800 file transfers occurring every second?
Yes.
24 hours of the day, every day of the year?
Yes.
Every second?
Yes.
and you know what's in those file transfers. You're able to look at those 800 file transfers a second and say,
well, there are other laws that protect users, and those are privacy laws. For example, in the US, it's the Electronic Communication Privacy Act, which prohibits us from looking into the accounts of users proactively and look for things. It's like mail, it's private. We cannot just go in there and police what these users are uploading. But that's why we have our own terms of service in which we tell our users you cannot upload anything that is infringing on anybody's rights. You can only upload things that belong to you. And before any user uploads any file to Megaupload, they have to click on a little box that says, I accept the terms of service. So we have a legally binding agreement with these users that they are not supposed to upload anything that doesn't belong to them.
Of course, that is a romantic notion, isn't it? That just because we tick the box accepting the terms of service, that we're going to behave ourselves once we're in there, right? I mean, you must have known that people were doing whatever they wanted once they'd gone through the front door. They were exchanging any kind of files they wanted to exchange. What opportunity did you have to police that?
Well, of course, everybody knows that the internet is being used for legitimate and illegitimate uses. And I think every online service provider has the same challenges that we had. YouTube, Google, everybody is in the same boat. So what you need to understand here is that we provided the content owners with an opportunity to remove links that were infringing on their rights. So not only did they have an online form where they could take down infringing links, they had direct delete access to our servers. So they could access our system and remove any link that they would find anywhere on the internet without us being involved. They had full access, and we're talking about 180 partners, including every major movie studio, including Microsoft and all big content producers. And they have used that system heavily. And you need to understand that that system was not even something that was required by the law. We provided that voluntarily. And they have removed over 15 million links.
So every member of the Motion Picture Association, every film studio who was a member of the Motion Picture Association of America had direct delete access to Megaupload.com to take out copyright infringing material. Is that the case?
Absolutely.
And yet the FBI indictment against you alleges, and I quote, copyright infringement on a massive scale with estimated harm to copyright holders well in excess of $500 million US.
Well, that's complete nonsense. If you read the indictment and if you hear what the prosecution has said in court, is that these 500 million of damage were just music files and just within a 2-week time period. So they are actually talking about 13 billion US damage within a year just for music downloads. The entire US music industry is less than $20 billion. So how can one website be, responsible for this amount of damage? It's completely mind-boggling and unrealistic.
So are you really suggesting that you are a sacrificial lamb of some description?
Well, there's no other explanation for me because we have done nothing wrong. I'm no criminal. This website has not been set up to be a piracy haven, And if you look at the comments out there and at the discussion that is happening online, that's what everybody feels like. It's crazy.
Because the FBI and the people who want to prosecute you are alleging, and they've used these words, that you are unprecedented, that the scale of your piracy is unprecedented, that there has never been anything like it before in human history, that you are the pirate to beat all pirates.
Yeah. It's kind of like weapon of mass destructions in Iraq. If you want to go after someone and you have a political goal, you will say whatever it takes. These are fabrications and lies. There are 100 other companies out there that offer the same service like us. Why has nothing happened to them?
Can you give me a name? Just name. Can you give me a couple of names? Who
Many
else?
sites. Mediafire is based in the US, offers exactly the same service like us.
File sharing opportunities.
Yeah, RapidShare, FileSurf, FileSonic. Microsoft has their own service called SkyDrive. Google is launching a new service called Drive. Everyone is in this cloud arena, in the same business, has the same problems that we had battling piracy. But we are not responsible for the problem. And this is, I think, what everyone needs to understand. Where does piracy come from? Piracy comes from, people, let's say in Europe, who do not have access to movies at the same time that they are released in the US. This is a problem that has been born within this licensing model and the old business model that Hollywood has, where they release something first in one country, but they show trailers to everyone around the world pitching that new movie, but then that 14-year-old kid in France or in Germany can't watch it for another 6 months. If the business model would be one where everyone has access to this content at the same time, you wouldn't have a piracy problem. So it's really, in my opinion, the government of the United States protecting an outdated monopolist business model that doesn't work anymore in the age of the internet. And that's what it all boils down to. I'm no piracy king. I offered online storage and bandwidth to users, and that's it.
After the break, Dotcom on his wealth and why Megaupload made so much money. Welcome back to our interview with Dotcom. A very big part of the public persona of this larger-than-life man is his ostentatious displays of wealth. And houses like this certainly don't come cheap. We will talk about this in depth a bit later. But how did Megaupload make so much money?
When you create something that is popular, when you create a solution, when you're an innovator and you solve problems for people and they like what you have to offer, of course you automatically make money. If you have a product that is popular, you make money. I had a product that was very popular.
Why was it popular?
Because people could surpass a lot of limitations. It saved people a lot of money. You don't need to buy a server to store your files. You can use us to distribute your files, legal files. You can use us to make a backup online of all your files. There are so many, countless legitimate uses for Megaupload that the piracy element is really just one that is minute and shouldn't even be the primary focus.
CNET, in an article that looked pretty well researched to me and well sourced, said, and I quote, among the copyright owners who have accused Megaupload of piracy, including software and video game companies, none of them presented the FBI with more, quote, significant evidence, end quote, about Megaupload than the MPAA. Did any members of the MPAA come to you and say, we have concerns, Kim, about what's going on in Megaupload?
Never. And I got to tell you this. If you are a company that is hurt so much by what we are doing, billions of dollars of damage, you don't wait and sit and do nothing. You call your lawyers and you try and sue us and try to stop us from what we are doing.
So a cease and desist of some form or other. Did you ever receive any letters from members of the MPAA saying the latest James Bond film is being exchanged ad infinitum through Megaupload, you must stop it? Did you ever receive that
Absolutely not. No legal document has ever reached us from any of these studios. The only thing that we get is takedown notices and them using the direct delete access on our website. So isn't it surprising to you that when I'm the pirate king and I'm causing all this damage, that none of them has ever even attempted to sue us for damages? If you would run a business that loses billions of dollars because of me, you wouldn't just sit there and do nothing. I mean, this investigation was ongoing for over 2 years. You know, the company was live for over 7 years. The MPA has always thrown names at us and called us all kinds of things, but they've never actually done anything to, you know, take us to court. And for the very simple reason that there is a law in the US that protects us, which is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that protects online service providers from actions of their users. And this is the same law that allowed Google to still exist, that allowed YouTube to still exist. You know that Viacom sued YouTube, and YouTube claimed that they are protected by the DMCA, and they won. And if you look at the YouTube case files and the emails that were exchanged internally, we are a lamb compared to what was going on at YouTube at the time. But these guys got away. They have won their lawsuit, and they are still in business. And I'm sitting in jail. My house is being raided. All my assets are frozen without a trial, without a hearing. This is completely insane, is what it is.
Why you then, do you think?
I'm an easy target. My flamboyance, my history as a hacker, you know, I'm not American. I'm living somewhere in New Zealand, around the world. I have funny number plates on my cars. You know, I'm an easy target. I'm not Google. I don't have $50 billion on my account. And right now I have not a penny on my account. All my lawyers currently are basically working without a penny. And they are all still on board and all still doing their job, because what they see here is unfair, is unreasonable, and not justice.
What did you think about when you were in jail for a month? A lot of time on your own, right? Did you have a cell to yourself you weren't sharing with anyone?
Yeah, I had a cell to myself, and I was primarily concerned about my family. You know, that is mainly what I was thinking about. You know, I have a wife pregnant with twins, and it's just an impossible situation. And they keep the anxiety level high. They appealed my bail. I don't even know on what grounds. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Are you a flight risk?
Absolutely not.
Is there a helicopter waiting over the hill, either literally or metaphorically, to come and whisk you off to somewhere where you can't be extradited from?
You know, you got to think about this for a minute, okay? Why would I leave after everything has been frozen, everything has been taken from me? A company that was worth probably $1 billion plus has been given a death sentence without trial. You know, what point is there for me to run away? The only thing that makes sense and is logical here is to fight this. And that's what I'm going to do. I will fight this all the way. And I promise you, and everybody who's watching this right now, I'm going to win this, because I'm no criminal and I've done nothing illegal.
After the break, with the might of the FBI pursuing him for all they're worth, what future does Dotcom have? Welcome back to our interview with Dotcom. We begin this part of it with the unprecedented prosecution in New Zealand, but by the FBI. The FBI indictment, their charges, which is a very long document, full of some of the most emotive language I've ever seen in
It's a press release, an indictment of 72 pages, which is so maliciously designed to basically get a judge and a grand jury in the US to agree to these kinds of actions, has been unheard of. Look out there at the professional legal opinions of everyone who has seen this. It's nothing more but a press release filled with things out of context, designed to make me look as bad as possible.
Are you as bad as possible, Kim? Are you a very naughty man who has been making a lot of money for yourself at the expense of content providers who take the risk, who do the work, who make things only for you to enable people to trade in that stuff so you get rich?
That's complete nonsense. I'm an innovator. I create software, I create solutions, I create a website that is popular and that people want to use and have used for a lot of legitimate uses. And it's just completely bizarre how I'm being put on a pedestal like this and pointed at like the over-pirate of the planet. It's insane. There's no merits to this.
Do you think you would be in this position if you hadn't driven around with saying Dr. Evil, driving a Mercedes in the Gumball Rally through Europe, behaving in a larger-than-life way, in a way that draws attention to you, in a way that distinguishes you from the men who run Google who are dressed like I'm dressing and don't post videos of themselves on YouTube behaving like a lunatic? Is that why you are such a soft target, do you think?
Well, first of all, let me be clear. Those videos and the things that you see online are not posted there by myself. These videos are 10 years plus old, and I'm a fun-loving guy, okay? I enjoy my life. I have a big kid inside me, and I didn't see any reason why I have to wear a suit and be stuck up, you know, when I have earned my money and, you know, enjoy my life, fulfill my dreams. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, and those clips were long before I had a wife and a family and kids. You know, my priorities have changed. I'm a family man, you know. I'm not doing these kind of things. That was childish stuff, and it was fun at the time, and I don't regret it, but that's not me today. I'm a different guy, you know. I just want to have a safe future for my kids and, you know, provide my family with a great home, and that's why we moved to New Zealand, and we're really surprised about what's going on here.
Is that why you are here? Did you come to New Zealand to reinvent yourself and to become a family man? Or did you come to New Zealand to get away from this kind of stuff, the FBI, and why are you here?
No, I'm here because of my family. I have little kids. You know, we were living in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a concrete jungle. There's no fresh grass, there are no trees, there are no grills, you know, no birds flying around. I wanted to give my kids an environment of, you know, happiness and nature and peace, and that's why we came to New Zealand. You know, you don't have nuclear power, you are not on any target list of any nuclear nation. You know, it's amazing. I mean, New Zealand is a beautiful country. We came here on a holiday, we fell in love, and we decided to move here for our kids, to give them a great future.
What's your future now, Kim?
You know, I mean, I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight this thing, you know. I feel confident that I'm going to win, because at the end of the day, I know, my family knows, and everybody who's around me knows that I'm no criminal and I've done nothing wrong. So, you know, I will fight it. It's all I can do.
Dotcom. His extradition hearing is set down for August. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Ka kite anō, and a very good evening indeed.